7th, you time this with Fall Family Weekend when a lot of people are in town. This place is buzzing with excitement, just as if they would be playing St. Mary's.
All right, let's meet the new players. Let's send it over to PA announcer Jamie Patrick.
A 6'5" freshman guard from Croatia, number 3, Luka Kraziness. A 6'6" freshman guard right out of Sherman Oaks, California. Please welcome number 4, Dusty Stromer. A 6'8" sophomore forward from Seoul, South Korea, number 21, Jun Suk-yeol. A redshirt freshman from Glen Ellyn, Illinois, a 6'10" forward, number 34, Braden Poole. Hailing from Aurora, Colorado, a 6'10" redshirt junior forward, number 32, Graham PK. From right here in Spokane, Washington, a 6' junior guard, number 15, Joe Few. Coming out of Los Angeles, California, a 6'7" forward, he's number 25, Colby Brooks. And the big man from Clackamas, Oregon, a 6'10" junior forward, number 33, Ben Gray. From Aurora, Ontario, Canada, a 6' junior guard, number 0, Ryan Nembhard. A 6'2" guard out of Seattle, Washington, number 11, Nolan Hickman. And from Ellensburg, Washington, he's a 6'7" redshirt junior guard, number 2, Steel Venters. And last but certainly not least, another member of the Spokane community, a 6'8" senior forward, number 22, Hinton Watson. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your Gonzaga Bulldogs.
All right, Anton Watson, the final player to be announced here, and certainly brought the greatest round of applause. We're going to hear from the head coach now, Mark Few, beginning his 25th season as the head coach at Gonzaga, fresh off a USA basketball experience this summer that he had an immensely great time doing that. We'll talk to him about that throughout the season, and when you look at what's coming for the Olympic team and the players signing up, and this is big news, Zach Norvell added to the coaching staff, Dan Dicka.
NCAA changed the rules this summer, allowing you to now have 6 coaches on the floor. Jorge Sanz has dual role, director of ops, you see him there, and assistant coach. And as you mentioned, Zach Norvell Jr. moving up in the ranks to be an assistant coach as well.
And we will not meet R.J. Barsh tonight, a brand new assistant coach. He's actually on the recruiting trail, so we'll meet him later on into the season. But there is Stephen Gentry, a former walk-on here, and what a career he's already had as a coach.
He's been tremendous. He wanted to be a coach from early on, has spent some time in the NBA as well as at other stops, but this staff that Coach Few has is one of the best in all of college basketball.
And there's Brian Michelson, the lead assistant. And now here comes the head coach, Mark Few. And he's got to get fired up for another season at Gonzaga. And you know he'll bring the energy. He's an intense guy. He's an extremely competitive guy, and now 25 years in as the head coach.
I was at practice yesterday, and it was mid-season form, teaching and encouraging and getting the guys ready to go.
We're going to hear from him. Let's go to Jamie Patrick while coaches.
Yeah, Brian Michelson's one of the best analytically in the college game of finding things that can be of advantage to Gonzaga. And Stephen Gentry on the opposite side, when he went from Oklahoma State to Illinois with Brad Underwood, he revamped their offense. In no time, Illinois became one of the better pick-and-roll offensive teams in the country. So he complements Coach Few, as does Brian Michelson and R.J. Barsh, extremely well.
All right, blue team, we've got Steele Venters, Braden Huff, Ryan Nembhard with the ball right now, Dusty Stromer and Pavel Stosic, Ben Gregg, Nolan Hickman, Anton Watson, June Sukyo for the white team. Must have missed somebody, but we're under live action. Here's Nolan Hickman with the basketball.
They expect both teams to try to push in transition, try to get early opportunities, and then at this point of the year, you're still working on base offensive sets, so continuity ball screen, which has become prevalent in today's college game, will be the majority of the offense. I'm sure coming out of dead ball situations, you might see a wrinkle or two with a set to get a certain guy a look, but really it's about getting comfortable today.
I know who I missed. Number 3, Luka Kraziness. He won the skills competition a little bit earlier. There's Stromer. Pavel's little runner. Tied at 2.
Stosic, nice little touch on the interior off that pick and roll. He's a young player from Serbia, just a late addition. Got here about 10 days or so ago.
6'9", 216, good touch on that shot. Here's Anton. Told me this week, been working on the 3. Jump hook in the middle, comes out, and now some physicality as Braden Huff and June Sukyo battling for it, and foul called on Huff.
June's an interesting player.
Yes, he is. Everybody's 6'8".
Showed up. That's the thing that we haven't even touched on yet.
Yeah,
this Gonzaga team has really good size. Reminds me a little bit size-wise of that national title appearance team with Suggs and Nembhard, Kispert, who had great size across the board.
Gregg's 3 is off. Watson battles for another look.
Kraziness, a freshman out of Croatia, plays a lot of point guard in his native land. Also should play a little bit of 2 guard here at Gonzaga. I mean, he's a legit 6'4", 6'5", so you're coming in off the bench with good size as well.
Braden Huff, transition 3 is long. Long rebound to Nolan Hickman. Here's Anton Watson, and the foul called. It's a 2-0 score, the blue team up. Dusty Stromer, 6'6", 192-pound freshman from Sherman Oaks, California. Tell us about him, Dan, 4-star recruit.
A top 50 player coming out of high school. A very talented, good shooter. He's got a high release. His footwork has improved in the first couple months here in Spokane, but I think he's got a chance. Ooh. As you see him coming off that dribble handoff there, he's wired to score, and I think he's got a chance to be a really good player. Reminds me a lot of 2 former Zags, Richie Fromm and Corey Kispert.
Boy, that was some quick feet on the rise, and there's a great dish inside. Ben Gregg to Kraziness, and it's 4-2 blue. There's Dusty again, kept the grip, and now Nembhard the drive, bounce, Huff, the finish, and a chance for 3.
That's one thing that Huff can provide is an interior presence. He's a big that can pick and pop, shoot it well, as evidenced by being in the three-point shootout, but what you see there is great hands, catch in transition, or in traffic, excuse me, and then the ability to get the ball high quickly and finish through contact.
Well, the penetration to the baseline by Nembhard, and then the soft little bounce to a guy 6'10". That's a great pass.
Well, Nembhard, he's one of those point guards that he can get you into offense, but then he can also create when things break down, whether for himself or for others.
7-2 start. Jump hook won't go. Steele Venters with the rebound on the move. Left it for Nembhard. Nembhard the drive. Nembhard trying to go to Braden Huff. Did not connect. And another week, it's a lay-in.
It's all about getting on the same page, understanding when a big is like Huff, who can shoot a little bit, is going to pop versus roll. That time, a little confusion between the two of them.
Braden Huff, the defense on the inside, but called for a foul. As Kraziness had the ball on the baseline. Should be a shooting foul. And that'll put Luka at the free throw line. 6'5", 185-pound freshman from Croatia.
Croatia, a basketball hotbed in Eastern Europe. I had a chance to talk to him a couple weeks ago and asked him who his favorite player, who some of his favorite players of all time were, and Drazen Petrovic.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable player.
Another one of those guys we didn't get to see play long enough.
Unfortunately, he died in a car crash at the peak of his NBA career, a Blazer as well as a New Jersey Net.
Transition opportunity, Kraziness. The lay-in as Venters tried to go up and block it. And it's 7-5, and Luka looking tough going to the rim.
That's the third time he's been opportunistic. A couple times cutting off the ball in the half court. That time getting out in transition, creating himself an opportunity.
Dusty Stromer, Braden Huff, Ben Gregg there defensively. Spins to the bucket, missed it. Anton Watson with those tough hands. Anton will take it alone down the lane, and it's blocked by, who was that, Pavel Stosic. 15:52 to play. We've got our first timeout in this blue and white scrimmage. Anton Watson, the handle. Back in a moment. Blew up by a bucket. West Coast Conference. Lisa Fortier and her staff just do a tremendous job year in, year out now with the women's program. Anton Watson at the free throw line. His team trailing by 2. And Anton perfect on the first.
He touched on Anton coming back for his 5th year. Had other opportunities, went to the G League Combine to go through the physical testing and the skill work there, and realized he wasn't quite ready in the eyes of the next level scouts. Also had chances to maybe put his name in the portal, but at the end of the day, he's a Spokane area kid, and he's ready to make an impact again for Gonzaga.
And perhaps Braden Huff is as well. He was camped out in transition, got the ball and let it rip.
Shot that with no hesitation.
10-7, Ben Gregg, the offensive rebound, putback is good. Zags have depth, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know if it's obvious on television or not, because they're all the same size. This is a really big team.
Yeah, I think this team's got great size. I mean, even, you know, your point guards, Nembhard's about 6'1", Hickman about 6'3", but everyone else, you know, you're looking 6'5" and up across the board. Kraziness as a backup point guard at times is about 6'5".
Anton backing his way in, jump hook good. Anton Watson with 4.
Shows the experience, 5th-year senior. Push in transition, nothing there. Turn a terminated dribble into a post-up.
Nembhard finding an opening, letting it go. Braden Huff right now everywhere on the floor for Gonzaga. He's looked good, Dan, really active.
He has. He was in a tough spot a season ago. High school, just outside Chicago. He was the Illinois Gatorade State Player of the Year. Came in really talented. In most situations, you would think a player like that is going to play as a freshman in college, and they should. But with Drew Timme, where are those minutes going to come from? You're not taking Drew Timme's minutes. He took an opportunity to self-reflect and realize the best thing for him in his career would be to redshirt. He did, made the most of it, and as of now, you see the returns early in practice as well as in the scrimmage today. He's definitely improved. He's ready to make his mark and be in the rotation and be an impact player this season.
Braden leading all scorers with 7. We just saw Joe Few check in for Steel Venters for the blue team. For the white team, Colby Brooks with the ball just checked in. Got it to Ben Gregg. Kranovich, the drive, but the whistle, and a foul is called. But Jun Yo checking out for the white team. He was replaced by Colby Brooks. Colby, the redshirt junior now out of Los Angeles, 6'7", 215, wearing number 25. Hickman.
Whoa, what a
down
split.
the lane. Split the defenders. Lay in with the left hand. Joe Few, transition 3. Joe Few from downtown.
There was no hesitation there.
Not at all. Joe's going to let it rip. Here's Anton. Watson. Anton talked to him the other day, and he's like, I got to shoot the 3 better. And he is.
Shot it with no hesitation. And when you catch and shoot just as instinctual as that one, it is more rhythmic, and generally you get better results.
Braden Huff now with 9 points. Hickman, little stutter. And a run it down on the corner. Nembhard was there defensively, and now Anton.
The runner.
Driving. And a jump hook runner. Anton Watson with 9.
What a pass.
And the finish, now it's up and down. This is the Zag team we're going to see. They're going to score 90 a game again, aren't they?
Well, they've led the country in scoring each of the last 3 years. And mention it to Ryan Nembhard. I'm sure we'll make that mistake at some point this year as Hickman knocks down the 3. But, mention to Ryan Nembhard, Creighton plays fast, and he was successful in that setting. Well, Gonzaga plays as fast as anybody in the country.
And everybody looking to go to the rim right now. Stosic missed it. Brooks out of there with it, stopped by Stromer, and then a foul called on Braden Huff, who looks at the official with dismay. 21-16, it's been entertaining, hasn't it? And I think it's already obvious when the continuity and the chemistry, and when they play enough together, they know where each other are at all times on the floor. This is going to be an offensive juggernaut.
It's going to be a really good offensive team. You look at that team that lost to Baylor in the championship game as Kranovich gets to the rim and gets fouled, shoot 2 free throws. That team that lost to Baylor in the championship game, they were almost a finished product to start the season because they had so much experience coming back. You really only had to insert Jalen Suggs. This team with all the newcomers, I think you're going to see maybe a few bumps early in the year, but the potential is enormous. And once they get all on the same page, they're going to be a tremendous offensive basketball team.
Luka Kranovich at the free throw line. Hits them both. Luka now with 7 points. And if this game is any indication, the white team is 5 of 6 from the line. The blue team or Navy team, 2 of 3. It's a team that struggled at the line a year ago.
Well, a couple of reasons why. Anton Watson, not a great free throw shooter. Drew Timme struggles at the line were well documented, and those guys got to the free throw line quite a bit.
Nembhard, runner in the lane, left it short. Brooks up high for the rebound, and now Hickman into the corner. Anton shut off on the baseline by Huff. Jun Yo is fouled inside. I believe it was Steel Venters who went over the back. Timeout on the floor, 11:57 to play. White up by 5. Why are
I
we
mean,
showing downtown?
You've lived here for how long, and you say that's the campus of Gonzaga?
Hey, look, judge me all you want. I'm not a downtown kind of guy.
Obviously not, but I mean, you've lived here for that long. You've never once been on those.
The gondolas?
Yeah.
No, I'm afraid of heights.
Wow, you're afraid of heights?
No,
Wow.
it's just a good story, Dan. Jun Yo at the free throw line. 6'8", 215 pounds, sophomore from Seoul, South Korea.
Interesting story. Yeah, he showed up on campus last year in January, so he had the advantage of going through practice and getting up to speed with this program a season ago. They've got high hopes for him. He's athletic, he can shoot it, he's got good size.
There's Joe Few, poked away. Brooks with a run out. And the lay-in. Great effort by Stosic. But Brooks used the rim to shield him off. 27-18.
Great anticipation, passing lanes, and then the finish.
Few to Huff. Kraziness there defensively. Hickman to help. And now Huff looking to score again. Left hand. Too hard. Loose. Picked up. Dumped in by Pavel Sosic. 27-20.
Huff didn't score there, but that shows tremendous growth from a redshirt year to now. Had patience when the double team came, backed it out. The double left, and he attacked at the right time.
You know the other thing that I'm noticing?
Could be anything with you, Greg.
Thanks for the compliment. But obviously they get up and down the floor, Dan. There isn't like it's one pass and score. They're not moving a ball around. They're just going at the rim. Well, this team might score 120 a game.
I mean, Gonzaga always wants to get up and down the floor, as you alluded to, but
it's like 8 seconds of
they've
possession.
Also traditionally been one of the best teams at rim running and then high-low looks, and that's something that I think with Huff and Greg and Ike when he's back is going to be hard for the opponents to cover.
Stromer threw up a tough one. Ben Gregg runs it down in the corner, and it goes to the white team. But it's like literally one pass, and you go to the rim.
Well, a lot of times what happens is if you set a screen and you create an opportunity or an advantage, if it's early in the shot clock, go for it.
Anton, good spin, falls off. Stosic the rebound, he'll lead the break. He's got Venters on the wing, steal from 3. Ben Gregg clears the miss. And now Ben Gregg pushing the ball. Jun Yo. Free throw line, the bounce taken away by Braden Huff. Nembhard with his head up into the lane. Tries to spin, but Watson and Yo are there. Stosic from 3 is long. Huff saves it right to Watson, who then saved it to Ben Gregg. Outlet to Hickman. Nolan into the paint. Off the glass, too hard. Venters clears it. This is literally up and down. Braden Huff missed everything.
Well, the one nice thing about this setting, guys get a chance to get comfortable or uncomfortable in this setting. And it's a chance for the coaches to break down the film and really point out a lot of things, because there's not as much control as you would have in a practice.
Nice cut by Hickman. Here's Yo. Stromer with the deflection out of play. Under 10 to play. So Luka Kraziness won the skills competition. Nolan Hickman the three-point competition. Right now the blue team shooting 38% from the floor. White team 50% from the floor. Anton Watson has 10. Braden Huff leading everybody with 11. And then there's the man. Downtown Ben Gregg.
Tremendous awareness with the shot clock winding down. You challenged him to shoot 45% from the three-point line this year. Last year was right around 37%. He's going to have plenty of open opportunities, I think.
He's at 50 right now.
What a pass.
Nice feed. Ben's at 50. He's 1 for 2. If my math is right.
Your math is correct, but it's also a scrimmage, Greg.
Nolan Hickman left that short. Loose ball. The Zags will go. Nembhard. Here's Stromer. Transition three is long. Braden Huff fouled from behind by Ben Gregg. Ben Gregg over Huff. Step back. Lets it fly.
As mentioned, awareness with the shot clock winding down. Create just enough space to be able to get the shot off. And then on the other end, you can't say enough about, and I know it's just a scrimmage and guys are going to be put in different opportunities and spots, but Huff's looked terrific. He's been aggressive in post-up situations. He's been active on the glass, such as the last play there.
I will say this, though. He's got 4 personal fouls. He would have been on the bench long ago in a real game.
You are correct. You know, I mean, without
put it on
Graham
the calendar,
Ike,
ladies and gentlemen.
Without Graham Ike in, who I would imagine will be the starter on the interior. It's a chance, though, for Huff to really kind of get his feet under him and get comfortable.
Kraziness, a little stop and hesitation, and then blew by for the lay-in. Braden Huff. Boy, wow. Dan, he's coming into his own, isn't he? 15.
He's also got that uniqueness because he's a lefty. They have that just little bit of an advantage that makes them difficult to guard.
There's Brian Michelson. Coach Michelson, a real veteran now, isn't he, Dan?
B. Mike's
like seen it all.
Yeah, he's one of the best. I mean, you know, you look at the ascension of, you know, Tommy Lloyd as an assistant at Gonzaga, very similar with Brian Michelson, where as an assistant, you want to be able to learn how to do everything in regards to your program, player development, recruiting, game management, game prep. You know, Coach Few helps these young coaches learn to do everything within a program. And Brian's a great example of being able to do all those things.
Really liking what I'm seeing from Nolan Hickman so far. And Braden Huff now with 17 points and a timeout on the floor, and I believe that's going to get us to the unofficial halftime with 7:24 to play in this scrimmage. But Braden Huff tearing it up right now, leading everybody. 6 of 10 from the floor, 17 points, 8-point lead for the white team.
Got a bum finger right now, so
last
day had a handicap. It was at about a 4.5.
Dan hurt his toe and he can't play golf. Here's Ben Gregg, missed Stromer up high for the rebound. Just saw Coach Few there. He was coaching a minute ago, wasn't he, Dan?
Well, you don't
Nembhard
turn that off.
Huff the catch. Can Braden finish? Blocked from behind by Jun Yo. Grabbed by Anton Watson. Go ahead. Story, Dan.
With Coach Few, you don't turn his competitiveness off. He's become one of the best coaches in the history of college basketball because he's always searching for an edge to come out on top with a victory. No different than in a setting like this. I was at practice yesterday, and he was in mid-season form, you know, finding things that guys need to work on individually and then things collectively that the team needs to get better at.
Braden Huff missing the 3. And look, you touched on it a bit earlier. Been some of these years over this 20-plus run where, you know, it's a senior-laden team, a veteran-laden team. They show up, they are what they are. Once again, with all these young faces and new players, this is going to be something that we watch develop throughout the season. But first impressions, extremely talented and big. Yeah,
they're big. I think they're versatile. I think you've got a number of guys that can shoot it. Venters, Stromer, Nembhard. Hickman, I think, is going to show that he's made strides with the consistency of his jump shot. And right now, we're not seeing them at their kind of peak on the interior because Graham Ike's out.
Yeah.
Missed all of last season at Wyoming with a foot injury, and you know he's taking it slow in the preseason just as a precautionary practice. But he is talented, left-handed. It was the preseason Mountain West Conference Player of the Year a season ago. Because 2 years ago, he averaged nearly 20 and 10 at Wyoming for an NCAA tournament team. Reminds me a lot of former NBA player Zach Randolph because he's left-handed, wide shoulders, can score through contact.
Luka Kraziness called for that personal foul. A little too physical with his defense. Boy, if he's a defensive guy, he's going to be a stud. We've seen the offense on display, but if he can really defend. Trying to front inside right now. Nembhard falling away. Ryan Nembhard with his first field goal.
You know, creativity with the dribble and then creating space. He's one of those guys where if the offense breaks down and the shot clock's winding down, he can create something for himself or for a teammate.
Yo. Nembhard feeling it. That rimmed out. Colby Brooks up high for the rebound. 38-30, the white team up in front.
Nice pass.
Into the corner. Kraziness. Rebound tipped out. Anton Watson leading this white team with 10 points. Kraziness has 9. Braden Huff leading all scorers with 17. Nembhard drives. Got all the way in there, but there's Kraziness again to shut him off at the rim. 4:28 to play. At what point in the preseason practice scrimmage schedule, Dan, do you get tired of playing against one another and want to go play games?
Pretty quickly, especially nowadays, because with the NCAA rules, they can practice in the summers. Years ago, it was October 15th was the first day of practice, and you'd have about 2.5 weeks before you'd have an exhibition game, and then a week or so after that, you'd be into the first regular season game of the year. Now, I mean, these guys have been going against each other since June.
Here's June Yo. Ben Gregg trying to get open. Anton Watson lines up the 3. Anton Watson now 2 for 2 from downtown. He's got 13.
I like the fact that he's shooting the perimeter shot with little hesitation.
Venter's corner 3. Steele's got to find his rhythm. Shot didn't look good towards the latter end of the three-point contest. There's been a few shots in this scrimmage that weren't his typical shot. That was a rhythm 3.
Yeah, he's a shooter. You know, it's one of those things where it's just a matter of getting comfortable with where his shots are going to come within this offense. Hickman, another split on a pick and roll to a nice runner, but I think Venters is going to be a big threat from the perimeter this year.
There's a great bucket at the other end. That bucket a moment ago by Hickman got him into double digits with 10. Nembhard now with 4, but Anton Watson, 13 points. 4 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 2 from downtown, 3 of 4 from the line, and 5 rebounds. Anton Watson playing his final year begins today at Gonzaga.
Example again, USC, you know, UCLA out of the Pac-12 gets a lot of the acclaim in recent years, but USC's been in the tournament the last 3 years. They're good. They got the #1 incoming freshman in Isaiah Collier. Also, everybody knows about Bronny James. He has not been cleared to play after some medical ailments this summer. That should be a heck of a game. The San Diego State game, San Diego State's been tremendous over the last 15 years or so. They were in the title game a season ago playing against UConn, and Gonzaga plays UConn again, the defending national champs in Seattle. So lots of opportunities to bolster Gonzaga's net leading into Selection Sunday. And we didn't even mention going to Kentucky and playing out at Rupp Arena, year 2 of a 6-year series.
Kraziness, the drive and the finish through the bigger Huff.
He's showed a lot today. I've been impressed.
11 points.
Talented, skilled.
He's been really good at the other end as well. Luka's going to be a player. Nembhard, step back 3. Big launch off the front of the rim. Yo with a rebound. June now on the move. Hickman calling for the ball, Nolan with it. Ben Gregg turns and shoots. Bingo! Ben Gregg now 2 of 3 from downtown. Here's Dusty Stromer. Dusty 1 of 3 in the game, couple of points. Now the offense has slowed down and got a little bit more deliberate. Stromer missed the 3. Ben Gregg the rebound. Here's Anton. Again, it's Ben Gregg. That one rimmed out. Nembhard bounce, what a no look. And the foul called on Jun Yo. And this will put Pavel Stosic at the free throw line, the freshman from Serbia. $1:29 to play. So they have the scrimmage. And now it's weeks of practice before Coach Field will get another scrimmage in at some point in time. He normally does, but it's a lot of days of practice. It's the dog days of the season, really. As a player, did you ever look forward to that?
Well, if you're a competitor and you're truly serious about being good at your craft, yes, you are. But it's easy to allow that looking ahead to an opponent to creep into your mindset. Coach Few's always done a really good job of making the guys understand the task at hand and not looking too far out into the future. But it can get difficult because, again, these guys are between 18 and 22 years old. They want to play games. They don't necessarily want to go through the grind of every practice.
Dusty Stromer from the corner. And a foul called on Steele Venters. Minute 9 now to play. It's a scrimmage, so I haven't really been talking about fouls too much, but that is 10 team fouls against the Navy team. I was lit up at my daughter's softball game the other day because I don't give it foul information enough. Even though I haven't called a game since last February, they felt it necessary.
Again,
so there's some foul information.
This is the chance for the players to get in this setting and play and get some of the jitters out, but it's also a chance for the coaches to, break out a film in an environment where the players are uncomfortable. Because a lot of times in practice, players will be comfortable, and it's not as impactful, the teaching at times, watching video from practice, as opposed to when you see 6,000 people in the stands.
Under a minute to go now. Stosic, handoff to Venters. The switch there. Brooks now on Steele, 10 on the shot clock. Stosic, handoff to Stromer. Colby Brooks, the deflection, takes it away from Venters. Steele back defensively, shot up and good. Colby Brooks, nice finish, he's got 4.
A couple steals for him have led to transition opportunities where he's been creative with finishes twice.
Here's Venters, step back, that's a 2. Braden Huff, offensive rebound, put back is good. Braden leading everyone with 19.
He's carved so much space on the interior. Good job of doing his work early with his lower body to move out his opponent.
And that's going to do it, but Huff with such soft hands. 52-38 going to be the final score. And now Coach Few has some tape to work with. And he's got some impressions to create thoughts and strategies going forward.
Some good, some bad, which is to be expected in a scrimmage, especially with as many newcomers as Gonzaga has this year. All in all, I think a successful afternoon. I think we learned a lot of things. Ryan Nembhard is as advertised. He's going to push the pace. He's going to create for others. Didn't score it necessarily well today, but he found guys. Braden Huff, he took advantage of that redshirt year. And then some of the other guys, in particular, Kraziness, really stood out to me today.
Yeah, he did. Braden Huff, unofficially our MVP with 19 points, has to be, right?
I think we could say that without a doubt.
He had 3 rebounds, 7 of 13. Anton Watson was next with 13. Luka Kraziness with 11. Nolan Hickman with 10. And it's a 52-38 final. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Gonzaga basketball off and running. I'm Greg Heister. He's Dan Dickow. Another fantastic afternoon at the McCarthy Athletic Center. Enjoy this beautiful day and what's left of October. We'll see everyone down the road very soon. Good day.